Here, okay, here's what I was talking about here. I've got my line on the bottom. You can kind of sort of see it right there. And that's squared it up. Now you can see, I know that line's square because I used a speed square. Now I've got this going on over here. So I'm going to have to just torque it or twist it around a little bit, get it screwed down, and you can see that there's also a bow and how that is twisted too. So when I screw it down, all that comes together. It's just, it's what you get when you work with construction lumber. So, you can plane them down. You can use a joint planer. You can sand them down to where they're at. And speaking of sanding down, when I get done, I will sand down these. Now, it is important that you sink these below the surface because your top of your table will be sitting on top of that, and you don't want something keeping it back up. So that's again why I'm going to touch that up with a sander, and then when I get them in, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to do this in the other end, and I'll be back with you. Sorry for splitting this up so much, but I figured it's easier to get through it. And you thought the other one was off. Okay. This one I put on, and you can see something's tweaked a little bit. I've got this end lined up pretty good, but man, this end is all kinds of not right here. It's just, there's a gap and a half there that you can see. Throw a cat through, so now we're going to have to tweak this like this and like this to get it down in there. It's just like I said, part of working with old lumber and part of working with construction timber and stuff. So, but there again, that's the reason why you put your lines up there, and that's why you got your, that way you know everything's square. And might be a little fight to get together right now, but when you get together, it's good. And then you can see here, this might be part of my problem. I have a gap there, and we'll have to figure out, loosen them back up, drive them back in, see if that helps. So it's just a matter of problem solving. Okay, I got these together. I'm not exactly happy with how this one went, but it's working. And then what we got here is I'm getting ready to put the top on. I'm still kind of straightening up some things. You just kind of eyeball it. You see how I got a crack here? I'm going to have to loosen that up, tighten it up a little bit, and that'll help straighten some things up a little more. And I'll show you how to put the top on here in a minute. It's kind of interesting. There's our top boards that we're laying right there. And you actually, before you screw the first one down, you put all three of them on top. But we'll show you that here in a moment. It helps to find a level floor too. But this is going to be our table. We're going to use it. This is the table that we made down here, and we're going to use it to make this one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put these up here. We can get pre-drilled holes on that one, see that? I'm going to throw them up here, like so. Okay. Now what we got to do is get everything straightened around, and what we'll do is we'll move this around. And I'll sand these corners off too, so it's these corners here and stuff, so they're not as sharp. You can do it on the router table or whatever. But I'm going to get a general idea here. I'm just going to kind of go by feel. There again, I can use my carpenter pistol to get more accurate of it. And I'm going to start just laying these together, evening the ends up. And then I'm going to feel on the other end, the overhang. You'll see the little overhang down here. That's what I'm feeling for, just to make sure that everything is that square basically. So I can tell it needs to come toward me a little bit. Okay. And square up the ends. Alright. So, and we always got one little cantankerous one. I'll take care of it with the sander because I can do that. But I can tell that also this end needs to come this way just a little bit. So that'll help straighten some of this up. It's just a matter of tinkering with it, find out where it's at. Like I said, I'm just going by feel. And still feels like this corner needs to come this way just a little bit. And then I think I went too far. So I'll show it back just a little bit. And like I said, you just make sure your ends are tied up. You have the width of a 2x4 basically to hit here. So you can screw into here. We'll catch these here. and then we'll try and space them out generally with our speed square, and use our speed square, lay it down to keep the screws straight, so that way it makes it look good across there. And you can also use it to measure the distance between the screws from the edges and stuff. So just a little tip to help keep you straight so it doesn't look like you run all over the place. Trust me, if there's something that can go wrong with what I'm doing, it will. So I'm a direct descendant of Murphy some days. So, and just like now, I can't find my speed square. But what we're going to do first is, instead of screwing them all down at one time, we're going to pick one of these. I'm going to probably pick this one, screw one corner down. That's going to be my pivot point. That's where I'm going to straighten up everything else at. You can see where this is kind of screwed up right here. I don't know what happened. It's a little shy down here, I guess. But I'll fix that with a grinder, like I said, or with the sander grinder. So I had that problem on the other one too. I don't know what the deal was. But we'll just nail it down. Like I said, we'll start in the corner. Make sure everything's square. Keep sure our gaps are the same. And then we'll just start with one board, screw it down, screw the next one down, etc. And I don't think I have to drill on these. So might be a good idea if you get really close to the edge, though, to drill. That one, I think that hole missed. But anyway, so bear with me as I do this. Okay, well, we've got these in here. I've had to vary a couple of these a little bit just to get the bow out of them. But these are all just old deck boards that off an old job site we had, so they were free to me. And but anyway, we just sanded down the holes a little bit here. I put this one here. That's kind of neat. But anyway, so we just sand down these holes. You do want to make sure you countersink these, because people will be seeing rings and stuff like that on top of it. So as you can see, this one's solid. The one below it, because the concrete's not level. But that's what I said. You gotta work with stuff. Now what I gotta do is go back through and clean up this edge, because that's sticking out just a little bit. As you can tell, there again, I can take that down with the sander grinder, and then I'm going to round these corners over and around these corners over and these underneath, and that way it just keeps from people jabbing themselves on it. I'll do all that with the that thing. Okay, that was a quick touch up with the router. All you see is just rounded those corners. There again, they're kind of looking for the rough look or a rustic look, so we kind of we didn't do real fancy on trying to get that all done. Like I said, I could do that with a router or what have you, but all I did is just rounded those corners off, so that way if somebody jabs themselves, it doesn't castrate them or cause other problems. So like I said, these screws I had to manage just a little bit differently, because I was having warpage problems. But you definitely want to make sure they get below. Now, the cool part's coming up. Stick around for this part. This is where we're going to learn how to put that design that you see back there on those pieces of wood onto these tables, what the customer wants. And then when we get done, we'll finish, we'll put a nice lacquer or like a polyurethane on it. Except I think it'll be water-based. I don't necessarily like water-based, but it keeps it from turning a yellow, because I put an oil-based on one, and it turned that 4x4 back there into, yeah, that color. Now, you explain to me how that happened. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. See that one? That's the pattern we're going to put on that, but that was just from the lacquer that we put on, yeah, lacquer that we put on that one. But those are the patterns that you see on them that we're going to put onto these tables. Pretty cool. All you do is you use either a microwave transformer, which is probably the most dangerous way, a neon transformer, or an oil burner transformer, and you can burn this in there. And what you need also is a little bit of salt and water, or baking soda and water. Forget what the ratio is right offhand. There's plenty of places on YouTube to look that up, but I'll show you how this is all done here shortly. And like I said, that's pretty cool. I like it because it's it's fun. You need to make sure you have a mask and stuff though, because or in a well ventilated area, because especially on treated lumber, again, there's chemicals in there. I don't know what happens when you burn. They suggest not burning this in the fire pit or anything like that because of the chemicals in them. So, like I said, not too bad for just having deck boards, some treated lumber, leftover stuff, and like I said, they're kind of looking for the rustic look anyway, so that's what we was going for. And we're going to call them up and send them a couple pictures and call them up and see what they want. So, alright, well, I'm going to make this a different segment when I come back. It's going to be on a different video, so I hope you all enjoy this. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Tell me what you want to see, and we'll see if we can build it.